Doing a little work on the Forerunner today. This is the control switch for my dual battery system. So this was from Painless Wiring. I bought it probably 25 years ago and installed it. I think it's just mainly a double pole, double throw switch, and it has three wires here. There's a yellow, which I think goes to the solenoid, and then there's a green and a gray wire. The green I think hooks to the ignition power, and then the gray wire hooks to the auxiliary or secondary battery. And the idea is when the ignition turns on, this green wire sends ignition power and turns the solenoid on that's on the firewall. With this switch, it's got a center off position, and then it's got a automatic mode to one side, and then it has a manual or jump start mode on the other position. It has these two LEDs. I remember when I bought this kit, I think I had already got it installed, and when I went to turn the switch, the two LEDs just flashed really bright, and then they basically burned out. And then probably a week later, I got an email from Painless Wiring saying, "Oh, we think there's a wiring problem in the last batch of switches we sent out. If you want to send yours back, we'll fix it." Well, I had already installed it. I got the wires run from here through the firewall. I had the solenoid, everything wired up. So it's like, I don't really need the lights there. I've been running the last 25 years without the LEDs. But what I ended up doing today was I took the LEDs out here, and right in here I soldered a 1500 ohm resistor in series with the LED. I don't know if they forgot to put current limiting resistor in here, or maybe they put too low a value or something. I don't know what the deal was, but the problem is the back of this switch is potted, so you can't get in there and figure out what's going on. So that's why I went and just put in some new LEDs here, and yeah, I think everything works. Here's the green. The green one turns on, and then the red one, like I say, is the jump start mode. And when that's on, you can hear the solenoid click. I never knew the green one would come on in the automatic mode. Now the solenoid doesn't click because it's not getting power from the ignition, because I have the ignition off. So maybe that's just to tell you to switch the switch back to the center off position. First time I've seen the lights actually work since I've had this system in there. But I did want to get the LEDs working. I basically tore it apart. One thing I wanted to do was I wanted to find out the wire colors here. I need to find an ignition power that I can send back to my house battery control circuit. And I was hoping I could tap into it here. Anyway, I thought I'd show you this control switch. There's really not much there, and this works very well. I've had zero issues with this in the last 25 years, and I've heard a lot of people say that the solenoid style dual battery isolators are problematic and you won't get full charging and all sorts of things. I think I have two things going for me. One is I have the solenoid up on the firewall, like right over beside the clinometer, and that's where the two batteries, the primary and the secondary battery, are joined. And then from that solenoid, the wires go down under the truck, and then right under there are where the two batteries are mounted. And I have parallel 1/0 welding cable from each battery up to the solenoid. So there's equal lengths of cable. The only place they join is at the solenoid up on the firewall. Yeah, let's see if I can show you that real quick.